Welcome to the Relateable podcast, a safe space for open and honest conversations created for Black people.
This podcast explores how we relate to one another in our intimate connections, friendships, family, and everything in between. Hosted by 3 Caribbean women. I am Fiona, a single mom.
I'm Sherween, a very near empty nester.
And I'm Chantal, a free-spirited monogamist. Relatable, because a shared journey brings hope. Hello, everyone. Hello, Relatable family. We are back, and we're actually recording on a Saturday, which is something we've never done before.
Very, very rare.
Yes.
Our Saturdays are very, very special.
Sacred Saturdays.
Sacred.
That's it to be done.
It had to be done, yo. It had to be done. And it's the first of the month.
Could you believe we're in October already,
No,
people?
I can't.
I can.
Somebody's birthday is coming up, but anyway.
The person who shall not be named, who doesn't want her birthday to be highlighted.
Yes.
But she gets shit because when the day come, I'm going to be all over shouting out all the things. I don't care. Okay. Just letting that person know. Just letting her know, yeah? Just letting her know.
No comment.
Oh,
you know what? Actually, you know what? My cash app is.
That's right. That's right.
Pound sign.
You throw down.
Know your
Damn
Caribbean.
right.
It's easy. Pound sign.
Right.
Know
Okay,
your
you know
Caribbean.
what?
Okay.
Yeah, but
You know
the
what?
pound sign not even making sense them days, guys. Take the US instead.
No, it's not the same. It is that you see with Cash App, it's not about the currency. People can send whatever currency you want, but
yes,
it's just
they can.
it's where the account
It's
was
your
established.
location.
Yeah.
Okay. I need to set up my Cash App.
What?
I need to set, I need to set up my Cash App.
But you know what, Fiona, Sherween,
Yes.
I don't think it's a bad idea for Know Your Caribbean to be celebrating the founder, whose name we shall not call.
No, we're not calling the name.
In this way, on the anniversary of the date of her birth. I don't know if that made sense, but yes, y'all understand what I'm trying to say. It's Saturday. I'm not used to being on it on a Saturday. But
doing them type of
doing them
things.
and thinking, he's like, oh, whoa, I have to use my brain in this way. Yo.
Yeah.
So I don't think I don't think it's a bad thing. So Sherween, we shall get together outside of this recording
and do some planning.
And do some planning, okay?
Please don't plan anything, please.
Hey Fiona, how are you?
I'm well.
Okay.
I'm well.
You're well.
Yes.
How has your week been?
Shit. It's been shit, and you'll know why.
Listen.
Okay, I'm doing my best, guessers. That's my theme. I'm doing my best because there's a certain pressure in having to say I'm great, I'm well.
Of course.
And then also if you say that things are shit, then people are like, oh my God, why? What's happened? Don't be so sad. And then you feel obligated to be happy to appease that person. So that's why my mantra currently is I'm doing my best, which it is. And this way it's not giving myself or other people pressure to be like, to respond or to say something or to help me or for me to feel like I'm lying either. I'm doing my best because we are obliged to say, I'm fine.
No, we're not.
Well, no, we're not.
No, we're not, Fiona.
It's just a natural thing we do. We say we're fine when we're not. So I think not saying you're fine when you're not fine. I think that's brave.
Yeah.
And a lot of people not expecting it when they ask you, how you doing? Well, you know what? I'm not fine.
You asked.
You ask, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. I think we should be truthful with our feelings.
Be truthful.
And also be given space to be truthful without the weight of other people's expectations.
Yes.
Right? So I would say this, okay, to anyone listening, Yeah. If someone asks you how you're doing, and at that precise moment, you are not doing well, claim that shit and say it.
Yeah.
Right?
You never know. The person might be able to help. The person might be able to just to listen.
That's the thing, because people feel like, oh my God, how can I help? What's wrong? And then sometimes then you feel obligated to. And if you don't want to tell the person, then they get offended. And then it's a whole kind of thing of you. So that's why I think a lot of people lie as well. It's because
Absolutely.
it's a follow-up.
Absolutely.
Because only naturally people are going to be like, why? What happened? No, but if I'm here to talk. If you want to talk about it, and you'd be like, no, it's okay. I'm dealing, and it's just, and then goes back into that cycle of trying to appease the other person. So it's a tough one. I think it depends on who you're talking to.
Yeah, you know? Definitely.
Yeah. Or say, I'm doing my best. I'm doing your
best. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that, Fiona. I do. I like that response.
I met somebody, and every time I ask him, how you doing? He says, fair to partly cloudy.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
Fair to partly cloudy. No, it's nice. It's not rainy or horrible. It's fair, but partly cloudy. It said could be better, but you know what? It's good. It's good.
But no, that's a lovely answer, actually.
Yes, it is. It is. But yes, ladies, how have your weeks been?
Well, Fiona has already told you how her week has been.
Yeah, Chantal. How has your week been, Chantal?
My week and the last few weeks, September. September, to round up September, I would say that it was very challenging. I would say that I'm leaving September knowing that I didn't take the best care of myself emotionally, mentally, and physically. And so I am leaving the month of September knowing that I need to focus my energy more on looking after myself, because this is the thing. Life is gonna life, right? It's going to give you spectacular. It's going to give you magic. It's going to give you shit. It's going to give you upheaval. It's going to give you all of these things, because that is the texture of life, right? It's textured. It's layered. It's never just one thing. Yeah, it's many different moving parts. And sometimes those moving parts are going to be more filled with light. And sometimes those moving parts are going to be filled with more shadow. And I know, it's said that it's the challenges and the shadows when you're experiencing an intense period of this, it's actually growth, right?
Yes.
But it doesn't feel like growth, and you don't acknowledge it or accept it. At least I don't. And I'm learning, like I'm really trying to learn and recognize that, okay, this feels really hard. This feels really hard right now. And when I'm in that hard moment, to just let that hard moment be like, okay, so this is what's happening right now. But I think the thing that I didn't do in September was, even though I acknowledge, okay, this is really hard right now, this feels really hard, I didn't do anything about it. And when I say I didn't do anything about it, I don't mean that I tried to resolve things or I tried to figure out things. I mean, I didn't take care of myself whilst this hardness was going on. So that made it feel even harder, right? Yeah. So I acknowledge that. And I know first of the month and all, that I need to do better at caring for myself, like eating nutritionally dense foods, getting more fresh air. Last week, I went swimming once. Y'all know that's not me, but okay, yes, we've been having some stormy weather and whatever. But and the amount of nutrient deficit is that, I just made up that term, foods that I ate this week, Lord, man. It's no wonder that my body feels the way it feels right now. And so for October, I got to do better. And I will, in fact, not got to, I will do better.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sherween, you asked me how my week has been, and I gave you my month. Yeah.
It's okay. It's a nice roundup. It's a nice.
I gave you my month.
It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good.
How has your week been?
My week was... It was a funny one. It was really good on one hand, but on the other hand, I'm starting to see old patterns creeping in. And these old patterns I need to reflect on, because these are some of the things I said to myself, Sherween, you have to let go of. I cannot keep doing, it's insanity, doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different outcome. And it's not. So I am really questioning some of my decisions, some of the things I'm doing, the way I'm behaving. And it's a good thing, but at the same time, I'm just like, wow, I'm enjoying my week.
Nice.
I'm enjoying my week. If you know, you know. I'm enjoying my week. So, but still, I have to be careful. I don't want to be doing the same thing again and then only to be messing up. But other than that, it's all good. I got my TV yesterday, finally, and it's working. So nobody tried to break it. It's working fine. I had to pay money to get it home, which is a ripoff. But anyway, it's fine. It's good. I have my TV. So happy days all around. And that's my week. It's been good. I started working again. So it's all good.
Lovely.
It's all good.
Lovely, Sherween.
It's all good.
It seems that you are transitioning into your Lucian life.
My Lucian life, Gassa. I am. It's interesting. It's very interesting.
Awesome. I'm happy. We are both happy for you, even though the other person,
she's not talking. She's saying nothing.
Just quietly listening.
Fiona.
All right. Fiona, we love you.
I ain't hating, everybody start thinking I'm a hater, Gassa.
You're not a hater. No. You're not a hater.
You're not a hater.
You just sent a whole tropical storm to destroy us, but it's okay.
There is that.
I was just clearing out some bad energy. That's all.
Thank you.
That's all.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. Okay. So as we said, this is our trilogy, and it is the second part of our trilogy, which we have called the pleasure principle. And last week we explored sensuality, and I think we all left that discussion with our minds a little bit blown.
Yep, definitely.
Just a tad. Yes. We've been getting awesome feedback from you guys, which we really appreciate. Sliding into our DMs with your thoughts. Lots of laughter in that episode as well. And we're really happy that the response has been so joy-filled. So we're continuing on. And this week, oh Lord, is that you laughing already, Sherween?
I didn't laugh.
No, that was me. That was
Fiona.
Oh, that was Fiona. Okay. This week, we are speaking about sexuality. So last week, it was sensuality. This week, it's sexuality. And so just to start the discussion going, I definitely looked up a definition for sexuality because I like to get clear. Like, I want to know, I know what I think sexuality is. And of course, just because someone defines it this way, it's not, what's the word? It's not a hard stop on how you can explore that definition, right? I looked into two sources. And the first source defines sexuality as how you identify and express yourself as a sexual person, right? So this definition is how you identify and express yourself as a sexual person. And then I went into this other definition, and this broke it down even more. And I'm telling you, and it's like, okay, hold up. So according to Medical News Today, right? I went there.
You did some
proper research, right? Sexuality or sexual orientation has to do with whom a person is or is not attracted to, either sexually or romantically. A person may identify more with one sexuality than another at different points during their life, right? And so they go on to further say a person's sexuality or sexual orientation determines who they do or do not feel attraction toward. Again, this attraction is typically sexual or romantic. Sexual attraction describes a person's desire to have sex or form a sexual relationship with other people. It often also describes physical attraction or lack thereof towards others.
Boy. Okay. Chantal, you going first, eh?
Okay.
I'm telling you right now. I go last.
You go last. So I am going last with what? What am I doing?
I have
what
no
do you
idea.
need from me?
I have no idea. I don't know where we going with this. This could go anywhere.
Yeah, it really can. It really can. I mean, I think going into knowing that we were going to be having this conversation, I really had to sit with myself to kind of gauge what my understanding of sexuality is and where my understanding of that was formed, right? And it's like, so I kind of took myself back to childhood and my first inclination of being a sexual being. I think my first, outside of the sexual violence that I experienced as a child, so many years forward from that, and like feeling my body parts tingle and, and like, well, what is this? Like, what's this? Like, what is this feeling? And I remember I was overnighting at a friend's house. I might have been maybe 9 or 10. And you know me, I gravitated, they had a library in their home and I gravitated towards that room, of course, right? And they had like the children's section, So I went to the children's section and I took out a book. And the book was about introducing sex and sexuality and those things to children. And I thought, oh, this is interesting. So I sat down and it was beautifully illustrated. And it was asking you, when you have these feelings, there's nothing wrong with that. So already this book was teaching me that being a sexual being is something good, that it's something to embrace, that it's something to celebrate and enjoy. So I didn't even recognize that this book was telling me or encouraging me to view my sexuality as something which was pleasurable and okay to experience. And I was like, wow, okay. And it was actually, the book taught you how to masturbate.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. This children's book was showing you how to masturbate. And I thought, what? Okay.
Wow.
Right. So I read this book and I'm like, interesting. And I went to the adults in the house and I said, I showed them what I was reading. They were like, yeah, that's okay, Chantal. You can read that book. Fine.
Okay. And how old were you?
10, but the book was for my age group.
And it's teaching you to masturbate.
Yep.
Wasn't it? I need to get the name of that book.
I cannot remember. I will. Do you know how old I am, child?
But was it a book that was encouraging? Would you say it's a book? I don't think it's a book that was encouraging 10-year-olds necessarily to masturbate, but to kind of understand,
know their body,
know their body,
and know the body,
and the two,
understand the body.
From my reading of the book, definitely, and from my understanding at the time, I was being introduced to the theory of masturbation because I wouldn't have known that word before, right? I wouldn't have equated that word to the feelings that I was starting to have or the ways that I was exploring my body. So it was very much an introduction to masturbation. And I didn't think, because that was a book that I read, I didn't know that it wasn't the norm for people to speak about these feelings with a child, right? I didn't see it as anything that was wrong. And I still don't think it was wrong, because if your children are having these feelings, those feelings need to be acknowledged and explained to them and not demonized and not made to feel like these feelings that I'm having are wrong and me rubbing myself up against my pillow is wrong. All of these things are natural. It's what makes us human. Yeah. And so that really was my first, I guess, official introduction to sexuality. And then it wasn't for many, many, many years later, many. I think I was in my late teens and I found myself in a situation where I was having a sexual encounter with someone of the same sex, right? And I remember it was so beautiful and I thoroughly enjoyed it, but feeling really guilty about it afterwards, as if that was wrong, that I'd had these feelings and that we acted on these feelings. And then we never spoke about it again.
Okay.
Yeah, the person that I had that experience with, we never spoke about it again. Never. Wow. It was like it didn't happen. Yeah, very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Absolutely. And then through the years, I don't think I've ever declared myself as heterosexual, but I found myself being more attracted to the opposite sex.
Yes.
And my desire as a sexual person was to have sex with the opposite sex. So that's what I did. I went with how I felt. Yes. And then, of course, there's been the whole explosion of people really breaking down gender stereotypes, sexuality, sexual attraction. I'm alive in this time where these things have become less rigid and more fluid, but there's still a lot of judgment that surrounds that. And I remember I had a conversation with myself. I put myself in a scenario that if I ever found myself being attracted to someone of the same sex, would I act on it again? Or even falling in love with someone of the same sex, what would I do? And I sat down and I was really honest with myself. And I said, well, why would I deny myself love?
Exactly.
Because I am developing feelings for someone of the same sex. And that then adjusts my sexuality or my sexual orientation, right? Why would I deny myself that joy? Because previously I have found myself attracted to just men and falling in love with just men. But why would I say no? And if I said no, and I had to sit with myself, and I was like, I would say no because I would be worried about how people would feel about me, what people other people's
opinions.
Exactly.
Yes. It's not about you, it's other people.
No, it's about other people. And in that moment, I made a conscious decision that if I ever found myself developing romantic feelings or sexual feelings towards a woman or someone who identifies as a woman, I would just surrender and allow those feelings to take me wherever. Yeah, I would. I absolutely would. Because I think the older I become, the more I learn about myself, the more I recognize that in my mid-adulthood, if that's even a term, I spent so much time denying bits of myself, and not just with regards to my sexuality, but with regards to my creativity, with regards to what I feel is my purpose here. I put so many restrictions on who I am and who I could be and who I could grow into. And I'm no longer willing to do that. And that also applies to my sexuality and my sexual orientation. So when I actually looked up that definition and it said, your sexuality is how you identify and express yourself as a sexual person. I'm like, well, how do I identify as a sexual person?
Because it changes. It could change.
And that's it. Exactly. Exactly. And so right now, I would say that I identify myself as fluid and open. And I know that's not, but that's how I feel I identify right now. I'm open.
Okay. And that's fine.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I think for me personally, my concerns, for me, I do not consider myself attracted to my own sex, right? I've never really had that temptation or anything. That's fine, whatever. But I like what you said about why would you deny yourself love, right? I think I'm at the stage where I wouldn't care what people think, but I say that now, but sometimes we say that I don't care what nobody thinks, but we do.
Right.
We all do care what people think to some capacity. I just feel like I'd miss
Here we go. Finola's
with
coming.
Miss
Finola's
Finola. Hello, Finola.
Finola. Is this thing on? Is this thing on?
Go back in your box, Finola. We all know what you would miss,
I just saying.
No, we want. No, let Finola come out the
You
box.
really-
I'm
Come
just
on,
saying.
please. You say what you need to say.
Hey, man, nice you.
No, it's not just man. It's the Lolo.
It's all of the things that, but if it was just a Lolo, then I'd be happy with a vibrator, right?
Yes.
And all of us
Would you?
No, but no, seriously, like if all of us would be happy for dildo or whatever, right? But it's all the things. It's because people can stay there and have all the toys in the world, but they'd never have the full satisfaction because sometimes you like a hug or a kiss or a pillow talk. It's like a full package.
Yes.
It's all of those things.
Yes.
If it was just about the Lolo, but I'm just saying from my perspective, my main concern would not really be about what people think. I just just yeah. That's just that would be my, and I think also in terms of mistakes I have made in life, in terms of denying maybe love or denying myself of a more positive experience for the sake of sexual desires, right? And this is something that I think many people have to kind of deal with. I don't know. I think this is why, in terms of infidelity and the fact that people have so much more access now. I mean, back in the day, things our parents, grandparents, they was doing their vibe too, that this wasn't social media, right? And now,
yes.
Them fuckers were up to all kind of shit.
They were, but to me, that's just natural human. People can say, oh, it's social media and you just see all of these pictures and the world is about sex. Yes, but no, though. No, because back in the day when they didn't have Playboy or Pornhub, all of these things, people were still doing the most. What do you all think about how people can, I'm just focusing on what you're saying, Chantal, about why would you turn away love from a person who is amazing? And then, and as you said, you are open, right? Why is it that people are, what is it about sex that makes it so intense that people are willing to give up a happy house and home just for that moment, for that one moment, or that, I mean, sex on average is about like 12 minutes or something like that.
Is that scientifically proven?
Something like that. Like, yeah, all of them all night things is like
12 minutes for you.
Who says me? Did I said scientists? Bitch, don't come for me. Don't come and say 12 minutes for you. Anyways, I'm about a solid 7. Okay, y'all can say this. Okay, give me a solid 7. Hey, I good, Why does it like incapacitate our rationale? Why?
This is something, Fiona, that I don't know how to explain it. I think for me, it's sometimes it's lacking. Sometimes it is, we want something emotional. Sometimes we just want something carnal. Sometimes, it's just pushing boundaries and seeing what we can get away with. It's lots of different things. Why people would risk breaking up or damaging what they have, something good at home, just for a few moments of pleasure. There's so many different reasons why it would happen. And one thing my ex-husband said to me is it's human nature. Now, I hated that cop-out of being human nature because I think we always have a choice. I think we always have a choice. Always have a choice. However, I think if there's a circumstance or something that arises and it's there, would I not take it? No, I probably would take it. I probably would take the opportunity. So I do not know. I don't know. I don't think there's one box or one size fits all. I think it's many different things, but boy, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know, Fiona. I don't know how to answer that one.
Second question. Of course, do you think the fantasy has lived up to the reality?
In what way?
In terms of how, some people will fantasize about being with someone or it's going to be like, and that longing, that is the longing, yeah? The longing is what drives people to make these decisions, which may be considered bad decisions, or it's human nature. It's the longing, right? And I think one of the greatest powers of sex is the longing, the anticipation before. For y'all, historically, would you say that the longing has been satisfied through the reality of your sexual experiences?
Okay, so I just want to make sure that I'm understanding the question.
Does the hype lead up to the thing?
No, but in a what context? Because the question you asked before was about, people giving it all up for the D or whatever. Is this in tandem, or is just this in general?
This is in general.
So it's not the hype of the illicit encounter. It's just in general. That's what I'm trying to get clarity on.
Yes.
Okay, right. I think it's different. I think there's been different occasions when I have definitely been let down.
Oh, hell yes.
Where the experience didn't live up to the expectation. And that's not to say that there was fault on either parties that were engaging in the experience. Sometimes it just doesn't work. Sometimes the chemistry in reality just doesn't happen. It just doesn't deliver on the buildup. Whereas there have been other times where I have been very happily surprised and mind blown, everything like, whoa, didn't expect that, right? And so it's been a mixture. And a lot of it for me also depends on where I am emotionally. And I say this because I am speaking just for myself and no one else. I have never been a person who is able to separate my emotions from the physical experience. And so if, for instance, I'm in a long-term relationship and we're having a down moment, we're not communicating well, things haven't been going great. It's, it's ebbs and flows within partnerships. And we're not there. We're not connecting emotionally. It's very hard for me to connect sexually.
Not me.
I know with others it's very different, where they can what's the word?
Compartmentalize.
Yeah. I don't have that ability when it comes to sex. I really don't. And it's something that I will completely own. But then there have been instances I had when I was younger. I almost had a one-night stand with someone. I arrived at a party. And there was this instant, physical attraction, sexual attraction to someone at the party.
Could we get a bit of description? Can we just live vicarious for a moment? Let me listen. Set the mood, man. Set the mood.
Almost one night stand.
Yeah, you set the mood. Don't just roll past the thing. Nah, we need details.
First of all, was it a male or female?
Male.
Identifying as male. Okay.
The majority of my physical sexual experiences have been with men, because for most of my life, outside of maybe once or twice, that's who I found myself developing feelings for and being sexually and physically attracted to. But what I'm saying is, just because that's been the majority, it doesn't mean that if I find myself attracted to someone of the same sex, that I'm automatically going to say no. That's what I mean when I say I'm open. But of course, there's certain things that I enjoy in having sex with a man. Anyway, so yeah, I was at a party and it was almost like a cinematic moment where you lock eyes with someone and instantly it's like, or the room, everyone else fades out.
Wow.
The spotlight. It was just, and I'm like, oh, okay. So this is what we're doing today. Okay. And, we ended up chatting and dancing and being very coy. And then we went outside. The moon was shining. It was a beautiful night. We were sitting down and we were talking, and then we ended up in each other's arms. And I don't know how that happened, but I allowed myself in that moment to be fully present in that experience. It was one of the best kisses I've ever had. And we were kissing for a very, very long time. It was beautiful. It was everything. And then it was like, you know, when the record, the needle scratches on the vinyl. And it's like I snapped out, right? I snapped out of the moment and I looked at him and I was like, we can't do this. And then I left.
What?
What?
Yes.
Really?
That's
Seriously.
wow.
And
Chantal,
that, my dear, will never happen again.
Better not ever happen again.
That will never. And again, that's, you know, going back to what I said earlier in terms of repressing or denying those feelings. I'm never going to do that again. I want to be in the moment. And if that moment then leads on to someone else, as long as I feel safe, and safety is a big thing for me, I have to feel safe. If I don't feel safe, it's not going to happen. Yeah.
Wow.
So for me, I almost feel like, yeah, my sexuality is something that, you know, in my late 40s, I'm going to be 50 next year, which blows my mind. I don't intend to be closed. I intend to be free and to allow myself that freedom. So I'm very much, that's where I am right now.
Wow.
Okay. Okay. I still vex it. I feel like the man.
I feel that one. I feel that one.
Because she said the sun under the moon
that going
and the outside, and
you understand, and then just stop the thing, sir.
Just so.
No way.
Just
you ever saw him again?
Well, he tried to get a hold of me and I refused.
Chantal,
he tracked down my number.
Chantal, I wish I could box you right now.
You could box my little 20-something-year-old self. I know.
Take your hand and box yourself.
Yes.
Not me. Oh my God. Sophie, you say you don't think you'll be able to go there.
What, with a woman?
Yes.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. It's and it's not to say I don't think women are beautiful. I find, especially like when I go to parties, I always will notice the beauty of a woman. I will appreciate the shape of her body, her face, and I make sure I tell women too, because it's more genuine. I'm not sure I don't have an intention other than to let you know, like, yo, like you look amazing. But no, that's just not my thing. As I like Finola, come and explain that, please.
Okay. Hello, Finola.
Hi. Thanks for having me back, guys. I like the feeling of a hard cock in my hand, Gasa. I'm sorry. I do. I like that. I like the steadiness of a man's body. I like those things. And to me, my role as a woman is to have that kind of softness and all those kind of elements. And it's just, I like to hear a man's voice. I like to feel big arms. I like all of those things add to the things that turn me on. So I just don't see that me alongside another woman. I don't see that working, because there's certain elements of a man, his masculinity accentuates my own arousal, right?
Okay.
So in terms of, it just wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work. I thought about it. I think every woman has thought about it, and I think also I think I have also a resentment of the pressure women have now to have to go to the other side to appease a man's fantasies. And I think because it's always, I want threesome. Why threesomes never is with two men and one woman? It's always two.
It happens, eh?
I'm not saying it does
happen. What are you talking about?
I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm saying when we look at popular culture, when you talk about threesome, the number one visual is two women and a man. And it's always this expectation of women that they are not as sexually explorative, or they're not, they're prudish if they don't want to sleep with another woman. And I resent that, because it's like, I'm just, so you want me to be, bi or whatever to appease your sexual fantasy so you can have the freedom to fuck two women in the same, you know what I'm saying? And is it because you like that for me, or you like that for yourself? So I think part of me also has this kind of like, no, I'm not going to stay there and appease your desires to just have as many women as you want to appease yourself as a man, right? So it's those, that's definitely a conflict of mine as well, because if I'm going to do that, I'm going to do it for me, not to make a man be like, yeah, boy, I can have these two women, and yes, and Fiona's down and she will be doing these things to turn me on, right? So that's one of the things. But like I say, in the role of, to me, in terms of like my sexual encounters, there are elements of a man that what it is, it's what embodies a man is what really brings me to that. So I just don't think it will work. And that is not for me to say that like, yo, women are stunning. Like the shape of a woman's breast, the curve of her body, like the arch, like the Cupid's bow in her lips. Like there's so many beautiful things about a woman, but it's just not my vibe. That's all.
And that's fair enough.
Absolutely.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Not a thing. So guys, question for you. How many different definitions or types of sexuality do you think exist?
Jay, why are we going?
I'm asking you.
I don't know.
Let me tell you.
In 2022, right? There could be about 50 different.
Right?
I don't
plus.
It's to me, it's infinite. I don't give it away.
Exactly.
Everybody have their own. If I have to, anyway, y'all could carry on the conversation. I'm enjoying listening to
you. Okay, so I'm gonna throw some terms out to you. So in doing my research for this episode, I fell down a sexuality rabbit hole. I was very much aware of some of the different types of sexuality, but boy, there's so many more that I didn't even never even heard of, right? Okay, so I'm gonna call out a few which I feel that most people are familiar with, right? So we have, of course, asexual, right? And asexual is an umbrella term that really encompasses a broad spectrum of sexual orientations, right? Asexuality is actually a spectrum where some people may experience no sexual or romantic attraction toward anyone, while others may experience varying degrees of sexual or romantic attraction toward people. Those who identify with this orientation do not have to abstain from sex to be asexual.
I thought they did. That threw me off. I thought they did.
I was explaining that to somebody.
They didn't like sex. They didn't.
No.
Okay. No. I thought that they were satisfied in their own thing, and then that okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And for me, I was like, okay, learned something new there, because like you guys, I thought that you don't have sex if you're asexual.
Yeah, you're not attracted to anything or anybody.
In actuality, you don't have to abstain from sex to be asexual. So I found that very, very interesting.
All right.
Right? And then, of course, we have, bisexual. A person who identifies as bisexual can be of any gender. And it means that a person feels attraction toward their own gender and other genders, or toward anyone, regardless of their gender. So I think most of us are kind of familiar with that. Demisexual.
What's demisexual?
So demisexual is a person who identifies as demisexual, typically only feels sexual attraction toward a person with whom they have already established a strong emotional bond.
Okay.
Some people who are demisexual may have no interest or only a slight interest in sexual activity, right? Okay, so let that sink in. Gay. A person who identifies as gay typically only feels sexual attraction toward people of the same gender. Socially, people use this term to refer to men who are romantically and sexually attracted to men. However, those in the community use it as an umbrella term, What do you think about that last part?
Because of course, when you say gay, you always think it's men. You'll always say, but I would call lesbians gay as well.
Yes.
I don't see what's wrong with that.
Yeah.
That's the meaning behind it. You're attracted to the same sex, so you're gay.
Regardless of your gender.
So,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, of course, we have heterosexuality.
Mm-hmm.
People who are heterosexual typically feel sexual and romantic attraction toward people who are of a gender different than their own.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then it goes on to describe, now, multisexual.
Now, what does that mean?
I don't know. What do you think it means, Sherween?
Apart from being attracted to different genders, what else could be multi? What else?
What else?
I don't get it.
Okay.
What else?
All right. So multisexual is a broad term that encompasses all sexual orientations in which people are attracted to more than one gender.
Would that be
some
pansexual?
sexual Nope.
Okay. Okay.
Some sexual orientations that come under this term are bisexual and omnisexual.
What's omnisexual?
Ba, 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 ba.
Gasa, I'm feeling old.
Yo!
I'm feeling old. I'm feeling like I'm
feeling
touch.
tired. Yes.
Okay. I was like, yeah, and I'm only taking, listen, I will send you guys the link because I was like, okay, right. So this is going to be the last one. Okay. So pansexual and omnisexual. Y'all listening? Okay. These sexual orientations refer to people who feel attraction toward people of all genders and sexes. Okay. A typical identifier for people with this orientation is that gender is not a factor in sexual or romantic attraction. While there is overlap between these two terms and bisexuality and polysexuality, some people may prefer to use one term over another.
Okay.
I find it's too many.
It's confusing. It's
right?
confusing.
Right.
I'm guessing that's to cover transsexual people as well.
Absolutely.
And gender fluid people as well.
Exactly.
So I'm guessing it's all these things. But,
yes.
But bisexual pretty much covers that as well.
But it doesn't, because bisexuality doesn't cover being attracted to people who identify as.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. I get it.
Right.
I get it.
Okay.
I get it.
Interesting, right?
Okay. Very interesting.
It is so layered. Yeah. Sexuality is so... I'm like, oh my God, I need to go and study. I need a degree in sexuality. Okay.
I have, and the thing is, me and my old-fashioned, I won't say old-fashioned, but I get pulled up a lot by my kids, not because I'm intentionally being like rude or but they will tell me, oh mommy, no, that's not what that means, or you can't say this, or you can't say that. And I'm like, I'm just trying. I'm not intentional. I'm just like trying to get my head around all of these things. Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. But you know what? Each to their own. As long as everybody is happy and everybody feels included, that's the most important thing to me. So yeah, each to their own. But I will stick to my little box.
Okay.
Which I have not even said what it is yet.
So wait, before you say the last one, because there's so many, right? The last one is sexual fluidity. Okay. People's sexuality can be fluid. This means that their sexual orientation is not fixed, and they may not define themselves by any particular sexuality.
But it sounds like you, though, Chantal. You saying you're open,
no? I'm open. I don't know if I can claim the term fluidity, because my experiences with people of the same sex have been very few and far between. So I don't know if that would be seen as more of a exploration or a moment. I don't know, but am
curious.
open.
Maybe curious.
Curious.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if I had been curious. The first one was a moment. It happened. It felt good. Boom. And then the second one, I think, was more intentional from where I was seduced, but I absolutely loved being seduced.
And you allow it to happen.
And I allowed it to happen. Exactly. So I don't know. Maybe I am fluid. I will explore that too.
You're damn right.
Yeah, I will explore that too. But again, I'm going to go up to the term, which was it? Demisexual. I would claim demisexual.
Okay.
Yes, I would. Because I need that strong emotional bond. I do. I absolutely do. I do. And I used to be like, oh, I wish I didn't. I wish I could just boom, boom, boom. I absolutely did. But I'm like, actually, no, there's no judgment. I'm not going to judge myself because my sexual attraction is connected to my emotional bond with the other person. I'm not going to downplay that. I'm not going to minimize that. It is just who I am. It's a part of who I am. And so there it is. So I think can you claim more than one term? So I want to claim today demisexual, and also, what was the other one? Demi and sexual fluidity, or a sexual fluidity baby. I don't know. But yeah, emotions are highly important to me. Or what about you, Sherween?
Hey. Oh my God. I don't know where I am. I'm definitely not hetero. I'm definitely not gay. I'm bi, but at the same time, I do not know. I do not. Hey, any pot for a storm for me. I'll fuck anything. I'm sorry.
I cannot. Today. It's good sacred Saturday. I cannot.
I draw the line at animals, but anything, I'll for anything. Seriously, but my preference for sure is male. The man. I love my men, yes, sir. I love up my, just like Fiona, I love up my men. But hey, catch me on a good day, a good looking woman, I will go for it. If I can, I will go for it. If there's two gay men and I want to experience, I will go for it. I'm very, you understand? I don't know how to explain it. I will go for it. I'll go for anything. I will try a transsexual if I get the opportunity. If it comes, hell yes. Hell yes, I would. But yeah, my preference is a man, but I'm not heterosexual at all. I do too much shit already.
But you know what I find? I was just saying, why should we have to put a label on anything?
Exactly.
I find like it's so restricting, even the ones that are so open, because it's like, why do we need to define that to anybody? And I don't like this pressure of all of these labels and of what is and isn't right to say. And it's like, okay, I get what when people say certain labels are not like politically correct or can be seen as offensive, that's fine to honor and respect those things, right? Because these communities have suffered a lot of abuse and all this kind of thing like that, right?
So much.
So, absolutely, I 100% respect that. But in terms of this kind of pressure to define yourself, like, why? To who though? To who?
I must say that I have a pact with a friend of mine, and although we're not even speaking now, we're not on speaking terms, maybe down the line, by the time, if we're not married by a certain age, we're going to get together, we're going to marry each other. A woman, we're going to marry each other, and we're going to have our houses next to each other, and we're going to have loads of cats.
Loads of cats.
If I get married before that, and that's fine. But if it doesn't happen, I have somebody, and that's a woman. And she always said to me, Sherween, I see you ending up with a woman. Always. She's always said that to me. I see you ending up with a woman in my older age, but I'm not putting energy on that because I want to end up with a man.
I don't see it. I don't see it, Gasa. You for woman. You find women sexy and beautiful, and you've had your experiences and so on. But I have seen the power of a Rasta man on Sherween. Let me tell you something. Like
exactly
the power them fellas have. Yo, Sherween will explore and enjoy. No problem, Gasa. Anything,
but
right?
Fiona, you know me. I get tired of it very quick. You know me. I have seasons. I have my seasons. So I'll be hot on some woman's case, hot on the case. Yeah. I try. And then as soon as it's done, I'm like, okay, I don't want to pursue it anymore. And I think that's one of the reasons why I do not pursue it a lot more than I have in the past, because I know after a while, I want my man. I want a man. I want my dick. I need it. I'm sorry. So this is why I'm like, I know I cannot be solely with a woman. I know that. Because after you understand, I catch my kicks, we do our thing. Afterwards, I need a man now.
Okay.
Yeah.
A question, Sherween, just on something that you said, and I know this kind of steps out of the whole sexuality discussion and spectrum, but it is connected, it is linked. In terms of your relationships, would you say that you're someone who is more comfortable in a monogamous relationship or not?
Ooh, child. I love monogamy. I love it. I love the security. I love the feeling of knowing that this person, I'm growing with them, and so on and so forth. I love monogamy. I love trusting people and knowing that they trust me. So when I'm in a relationship, blinders on. Right. I am all in. However, the minute I sense things not right, I will be out there doing my thing. The minute I sense it. You understand? The minute I sense it, the minute it happens, if it happens and I find out, if I sense it, it's like my radar up, blinders off. Because you know what? You're not going to have one upon me.
Okay.
You're not going to have one upon me. So I love monogamy, but I am also very much open to open relationships as well. But I'm too emotional to be in an open relationship. I will not love any of them. I'll not love any of them. I'll not be like head over. But when I'm in a monogamous relationship, that's it. You're getting 100% of me.
Okay. What about you, Fiona?
An open relationship?
What are you most comfortable in?
I mean, open relationships to me are conceptually like a thing, I think, because in terms of talking about human nature, like we started the podcast, to have the freedom to tap into those things, because a conversation I was having with a friend of mine who's married, and he's been faithful to her, and they're going through problems, and he's like, sometimes, he's thought about it and stuff, right? And I said, well, you wanting to do that is not because you don't love your wife. It's just that you are just trying to remember yourself. The issue with monogamy is sometimes you forget yourself, because those moments of passion are the moments where you feel most alive. And I'm not talking about cheating and that kind of, it's so wrong, it feels so right. I'm not talking about that. But that kind of having those intense moments, those really passionate moments, and those things tend to die off when you're in long-term relationships. And those passions and those things and those memories of those kind of like really intense moments set people alight. That's why sex is in the epicenter of everything, because it is so powerful. And in monogamous relationships, they can become those encounters will feel less and less powerful because of life is mundane, and you have clothes to wash and this and that, and you see the person all the time, and there's that longing is not there. How can you long for something? This is like we were talking about earlier, the longing, the longing for the person, that kind of anticipation is almost as powerful as the act itself. So if you're in a monogamous relationship, there is no anticipation, there's no longing. So sometimes when people have affairs or want to have open relationships, is to have that anticipation and longing. Again, not necessarily the act of the sex per se. Yes, it's good, it's different person, but it's all of the things surrounding it, right? And so, like Sherween, as much as I'd like to say, yeah, man, I'd have an open relationship because that gives me the freedom to have those feelings. I can't take on, Gasa.
I cannot take it.
I can't take it. I cannot take it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see you. And
I'm too emotional. I'm too emotional.
I see you moaning a different way you never moaned from before. I see you. You know what I'm saying? Like, or you like really into it, and then it just becomes, if it's someone you love, like I think threesomes can work if it's with people that you're not emotionally invested in.
Exactly.
If it's someone you really love, I think it can cause a problem.
It will change things. Yeah.
Sometimes if say you're in an open relationship, what if you're not in the mood? And then your partner's like, yo, we're going out and look, man. We're going out. And if you are at that moment satisfied in that relationship and that person is not, then you'd be like, yo, so what happened?
Right.
And then it causes problems because not all the time y'all are going to be in sync in terms of bringing someone else into the equation. So to make one person feel less adequate. So and that's because of feelings. If it's just someone you know that it is that's just for a time, then it's not no big deal. But if somebody you love, me personally, I don't have the capacity.
That's why I said I won't. If I were to enter an open relationship, I wouldn't love any of them. I wouldn't, because I couldn't. It would be more of a kicks off thing or something. Maybe I'm very busy and my lifestyle and it's people I know. Okay, I'm comfortable with these people and something like that. But it would not be a case of that's my life partner or that's how I want to, for growth or anything. It would just be a convenience thing. You get me? And there's nothing wrong with that. I think my whole single life has been an open bloody relationship, just with a lot of fucking partners.
And I love that about you, Sherween.
But I know there's no feelings there. There's no hurt. I'm not hurting. Everybody's open and honest, and everybody knows where everybody stands.
Right.
So it's not a case of I'm leading that one on or leading that one on. No, it's not at all. It's pure convenience. Of course, feelings will develop, but not love. Not love, not that passion, that I want to grow with you, that I want to marry you, that I want to, you understand? I want to, no, not that. There's not that. But when I'm monogamous, when I'm with that one person, then hell yes, you get all of me 100%.
I really think there's room here for another discussion, another time, on our perception of love in an intimate sense, in a relationship partner type love. So not love for your family, not love for your friends, familial love, not platonic love, but I really feel that would make for a really interesting conversation some other time. But it's been quite eye-opening having to read up on sexuality, going into this conversation. I definitely had my own ideas. I knew that my knowledge was quite base level. I expected that. But in doing the research and reading up, I was like, yo, I know nothing. I know nothing. However, like Fiona, I also agree that although I know that there are reasons why we should define sexuality in the spectrum, it's good for people to understand. It's not a fixed entity. It's quite expansive. I think that's important because for me, when the knowledge is out there, it gives more opportunity for acceptance and for compassion.
Yes.
Right? It gives more of an opportunity for people to be compassionate of other people's choices and other people's orientations. And so in one sense, that's why I do understand the need for definitions. But in terms of labeling, and you're right to know, like, is Fiona going to walk up to somebody and say, hi, I'm Fiona and I'm heterosexual? No. Why should she? In the same token, why should someone walk up to you and say, hey, my name is Maria and I am demisexual, you know?
Yeah.
Or I'm Josh and
There's
I'm
no
homosexual.
need. There's no need.
What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
No need. Zero need.
Like, truly.
There's zero need.
And for this week's episode of Under the Mango Tree, I present to you a poem entitled A Jamaican Fisherman. Across the sand I saw a black man stride to fetch his fishing gear and broken things, and silently that splendid body cried its proud descent from ancient chiefs and kings. Across the sand I saw him naked stride, sang his black body in the sun's white light, the velvet coolness of dark forest wide, the blackness of the jungle's starless night. He stood beside the old canoe which lay upon the beach, swept up within his arms. The broken nets and careless lounged away towards his wretched hut beneath the palms, nor knew how fiercely spoke his body then, the ancient wealth and freeborn regal men.
So in full transparency, we just had a power cut in Nevis. So I lost connection. But we were basically just talking about being open and the balance between, the danger in forcing people to assign labels to how they express themselves in any way, sexually and otherwise, but also recognizing that it's a learning opportunity for us all as well. So that's where we were. And it's been really interesting, exploring sexuality here on Relatable. Yep. We would love to hear from you guys, like your thoughts on sexuality. Yep. If you want to slide into our DMs, we're open to that.
Yeah, slide into mine as well, please. Come and tell me.
Or even if, in your rating and reviewing of us on this particular episode, if you want to share your thoughts, we are so open. This is a community. You are part of the Relatable community. We welcome your thoughts and your opinions. They don't have to align with ours, to be clear. So moving swiftly along, or actually, no, taking our time and moving along, embracing the moment and in a very sensual manner. Because, we now know sensuality, right? Doesn't necessarily equate to our sexuality. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well.
Moving along.
Anyway, yes, go on. Mm-hmm. Move along.
No, Sherween, you wanted to share something?
No, I'm saying that sensuality episode last week got me in some serious hot water because I was attentive. And boy,
she listened to the briefer.
Hot water.
She listened to the briefer.
Fiona, thank you. I didn't want to say it, eh? But thank you for saying it.
Boy.
At all. Fiona, clearly.
Like, completely missed the memo.
She missed the memo. It went over her head, down the road, down by the middle.
I took what I wanted from it.
No. Fiona.
I took the last bit from it, usually within a sexual nature.
I'm done.
Please note, I have said nothing. Wow, Sherween.
It's like, why bother?
Why?
I'm sorry.
You know what? You may
she
need
not
to go
sorry.
and re-listen. She's not sorry. She's saying, you know how we know she's not sorry? Because even when we were having the discussion, she was like,
one fuck am I sorry?
She was already
Somebody gonna get in
She's
trouble
like,
tonight.
I need to be more aware. I need to be more aware. Like, the plan was already set in motion.
Fiona.
That and boy, oh boy. Anyway.
What the thing is that she's not giving out none of her business, but she's giving out all of her business.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Boy, oh boy.
I mean, listeners, take from this conversation, right, what you like. But please note that Sherween clearly missed the memo. Okay, right. So moving on. Fiona, my love.
Yes.
What has brought you joy this week?
My most joyous moment. Now, please note, you all said no partner, no son. Of course, Shariah is making me happier every single day. And especially as he's getting older, I am becoming more like, I don't know, like he's in secondary school now. So it's gonna come to a point where he don't want to hug me or hold my hand and them kind of things. So I'm really appreciating every morning when I'm taking to school that he still holds my hand. He's still 11, but he's going to be 12 in 2 weeks. And that's the age when you start distancing yourself from your parents, right? So I'm really trying to cement into my memory these moments because you forget it. So I'm really trying to just hold on to these times and cherish them. So that's been making me happy. And aside from that, I ate a whole tub of Ben & Jerry's ice cream. And it was absolutely delicious. And I don't regret it. And I plan to go out and get another one. And eat all by myself. All by myself.
Wow.
Yes, that
you're damn
me
right.
Yes.
Okay. You're damn right. Okay, but what was the flavor of this ice cream?
Let me tell you. Hold on. It is, and I will read it. It is called a chocolatey love affair. I love chocolate ice cream. So it's chocolate ice cream with salted caramel swirls, caramel chunks, and sea salt chocolatey chunks. So it was that kind of sweet and saltiness. Exquisite.
Yo, that sounds so good.
It was
that'll bring me joy too.
Oh, that sounds so good.
That'll bring me joy. Blow my ass afterwards, but it would bring me joy for sure. Eating it.
I'm gonna ignore that visual that came to my mind. I'm gonna erase that. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Wow.
So what's been bringing me joy this week? Hugs and kisses, and I'm gonna leave it right there. Hugs, kisses.
Wow.
That's been bringing me joy this week. Lots and lots of hugs and kisses.
Fiona.
I know.
You listening to this?
I nothing to say.
Okay.
Hugs, kisses, and embraces.
Was that a manifestation of your realization of what sensuality was?
Thank you. I'm telling you, it works. It works.
Still missing the memo. Still missing.
It works big time. So hugs, kisses, and embraces. That's what's been bringing me joy this week. And I'm not even what's the word I'm looking for? I don't care. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it.
Right. Okay. I'm happy for you.
What's been bringing you joy, Chantal?
Wow. Fiona, I don't even want to speak right now.
You insisted we need to have this trilogy. We need to have this trilogy. So
whose fault?
It's worked.
Whose fault?
It's worked.
I don't understand.
It's working.
It's
working.
What is working? Fiona? Okay, you know what?
It's like saying
I can't.
It's like a black man. It's like a black man standing up on a podium and saying, people, you need to be proud of where you come from, and you must believe in yourselves and believe in the power of your race and your people and whatever. And then like a clansman going and ice people and say, because I'm trying to preserve the power of my race. Completely missing the memo. Complete.
No, it's not that. I didn't miss the memo. I chose what I wanted from
it. But the memo was saying that it is not just that. It's like saying,
but it's because I've been so attentive and so alert about everything I'm doing. I don't know. I can't explain it. I cannot explain it.
My girl, you was always
just made it all that more.
Fiona,
I
feel like we're going round and round in circles.
You are.
So we
because I ain't gonna change.
We're gonna leave that right there for now. And I will share what has been bringing me joy. Okay. And several things have brought me joy this week. I watched the first 2 episodes of Kerry Washington's, and she's a producer, and I feel like she's also director of a new series on Hulu, Reasonable Doubt. And I am thoroughly enjoying it. It is just what I need. It is Black people just being magnificent, Black people being flawed, Black people being human. A few of my favorite actors are in there. The script is really well written. And I very much have been enjoying those 2 episodes. I enjoyed them.
Okay.
I also had key lime pie.
Ooh.
Key lime pie. And it was the key lime pie of my youth. It was not vegan. I say it with my chest. I say it with my chest.
It's like when Chantal has break the rules, you know.
I say it with my chest, okay? It was not a plant-based version of key lime pie. It was the key lime pie of my youth when I used to babysit at the Four Seasons Resort Nevis. Yes, when I was a teenager on the weekends, I would join the babysitting crew at Four Seasons. And more often than not, the guardians of the children would say, "Oh, Chantal, order whatever you want from the menu." And I've always had a sweet tooth. And so I would have, without fail, they had a sweet potato and corn, a cream of corn and sweet potato soup that I would have. And for dessert, I would have the key lime pie. And there is no key lime pie besides my mother's, which compares. And so I had dinner at Four Seasons just last night, actually. And I had the definitely not plant-based friendly key lime pie and enjoyed every morsel of it. And I sat down with my chest high and said, yeah.
You're damn right. You're damn right.
Once again, Chantal is Nevis's ambassador of food. If you are not convinced, come to Nevis just for the food alone.
I want to come and try that.
It's so good. It's so good. Okay.
I want to come and try that.
Right. So that's what brought me joy. Yes, indeed.
At least all of us getting joy.
Yeah, ma'am.
Nice.
For sure, for sure, for sure. And so we're going to wrap up this episode by reminding you to rate, review, share your thoughts with us on Spotify, Apple, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Amazon Music and other places that we're even not aware. We love and appreciate you. We have some amazing episodes coming up with some wonderful guests.
Boy.
We are so hyped. We're so hyped. We hype. We're so hyped, but we're trying to contain ourselves. And I'm like, oh my God. So we have some amazing episodes coming up for you. Some really beautiful episodes. Next week, I think it's next week, we're going to wrap up the trilogy and we'll be exploring pleasure as part of this pleasure principle trilogy. You know what?
I finished what you know.
I'm done. I'm actually done.
What I just said, I didn't say nothing.
I'm done.
Y'all wanted it.
So this is when Sherween says this, I think it's the trilogy of the 3 W's. Why? Well, and I don't know when I tell you, boy.
That's like, Sherween's trilogy for real. Okay.
For real. It's all good hair.
Anywho.
It could be why. When it could be why. Well, why? And you know the whole story.
Very long episode. This is a long ass episode, okay?
Don't worry, we go through it. Joe, we love you.
Joe, we love you so much. We love you.
Okay.
Guys, thank you for listening. We love you. And remember, a shared journey
brings home.
Relatable, because a shared journey brings hope.